The guy who's breaking the toilet is me. Why am I doing that, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. My name is Josh. I'm 14 and I come from a small family. It's just my mother and I. Oh, I also have a dad, but he's always away. He works from dusk till dawn to make my mother and me happy. I mean, we're not a poor family. We can buy the things we need. And my mum has a housekeeping blog, which means she works from home. And every summer, my parents send me to camp. And many of you are thinking I'm complaining for nothing right now. But sometimes, it feels like I don't have a dad. It's like living with Santa. When I wake up, my dad is already at his job. And when he comes home, I'm already sleeping. Every weekend he is always busy, doing chores, going shopping, and meeting his friends to play poker at their place. I almost never see him. And we don't spend time together like other guys do with their dads. I am glad that he can provide for our family, and I am honestly so proud of him. But I miss him a lot. My last birthday made me really upset. I invited some friends over and had a barbecue. But suddenly my dad received a phone call, gave me my gift, excused himself, and went to work. After that, I had an idea. The next morning, I put on some jeans and a t-shirt instead of my school uniform. Mum got really angry and insisted I change my clothes. She started screaming and swearing at me. So I refused to change my clothes, refused to eat breakfast, and left my house abruptly. I knew I was upsetting my mother, but this was all only temporary anyway. It was all part of my plan. That day at school was not an ordinary day. I got my first F and a warning for being late. To make things clear, this has never happened to me before. Mr. Brown, the principal of our school, is a friend of my parents, which is why he called my mum and asked her to talk to me about my school uniform and my behaviour. When I came home, my mother was waiting for me, and she was not happy. She tried to find out what was happening with me. I just shrugged and went to my room. My mum shouted at me and said that when my dad comes home after work, he's going to talk to me, man to man. When I heard that, I was so happy. My plan had worked. But Dad came home from work really late. I tried waiting up for him, but eventually I fell asleep. I woke up in the morning and realized that I needed to change my strategy. My mum was still in a strop and wouldn't talk to me. I skipped breakfast again and left the house. But this time, I did not go to school. I knew that a pizzeria down the street was in need of a janitor. I didn't have any pocket money, so I had to earn it. I went in and I was immediately hired to work there. A week went by and every day my mother scolded me for being absent from school, for my behaviour, and my disobedience. She even tried to drive me to school in her car, but it didn't help. I'd wait for her to drive off, then go to work. I understood that she was worried and didn't want me to get in trouble, but I was totally fine. I didn't go to work or school on Monday. Instead, I stayed at home. I went to the bathroom, but not to take a shower or get ready. I just broke the toilet and shut off the faucet. I then told my mum that it was an accident and that I would fix everything on my own. Mum reminded me that Dad was a specialist at fixing things and he would come home and fix it all. But I didn't want to wait till then, so I called up the local plumbing service. I explained the issue to the manager, who told me they would send someone over shortly. A little while later, I heard the door open. It was my dad, in his uniform with a toolbox in his hand. He seemed very confused. I probably need to explain that my dad is a plumber. He's the only plumber working in our area, which is why he's so busy all the time. I knew that I could spend time with my dad if I called him to fix the bathroom in our home. His services are not cheap, so that's why I had to get a job. I told my parents about everything and said that I had earned the money to pay for Dad's work. My parents' anger was immediately replaced by a smile. They understood and appreciated my actions. Of course, they didn't like my methods, but I promised that I would not behave this way any longer. And most importantly, I got what I wanted. Dad called up work and took the day off. We spent the whole day together. We went to a baseball game, watched a movie at the theatre, shot at the shooting range, and in the evening, I even took him to get a pizza at my workplace. Dad talked to the pizzeria manager and came to an agreement that I would only work on the weekends, so I would not miss school. Since then, my parents have understood how important it is for them to not only work, but also spend time with me. Every other week we have a family day. The basic rules are no fighting, have fun, and spend time together. No matter whether it's in a cafe, watching a baseball game, or just playing games at home.